You busy, Nui?
Cho, Michelle, what's up?
I'm gonna go pick some medicine, Nui. You wanna go with me?
Yeah, Michelle, what are we getting?
I'm gonna gather some sage. We call that Wapshka over at the powwow grounds.
Aha, Michelle.
Miigwech mamo gosnan jakshigego gagistoyen. Awido daskiego kwab meshnak jayak dinwin magnak. Vida kochke odasema. Baged damen odasema. Miigweche mingoyak wapshka biak. Ahaw. Eel.
So where do we have ceremonies, Michelle?
Depends who's having the ceremony.
There aren't specific sacred spots?
Sure, there are areas that are considered sacred or important to Anishinaabe people, but many of them are up north in the Great Lakes or out east like Niagara Falls or Manitoulin Island. Let me show you somewhere we do ceremonies down here in Oklahoma. We have a number of prayer circles which we use for namings, talking circles, pipe ceremonies, and other ceremonies.
Cool, Michelle. Are they far away?
No, there's one right over there, and another up on the hill. The earth is sacred, and when we use a site for a ceremony, it's sacred. When the ceremony is concluded, it goes back to being just a piece of land. Kind of like how we bless the arena before a dance and say a prayer. After it's over, it's just a piece of earth. That doesn't mean you want to have hot dogs and s'mores in the same fire you have ceremonies in.
Michelle, what other kinds of beliefs do we have, or did we have?
Well, Nui, Potawatomi people had early contact with Jesuit priests in the early 1600s, so some groups have a long Catholic or Christian tradition. But it was never cut and dry. You had groups of traditional people in various groups. At one time we had clan bundles, clan feasts, even specific songs and ceremonies, and even origin tales for the clans. A lot of that has been lost today.
So no one does that anymore?
I never said no one, Nui. Remember, I can only talk about what I've seen. I've been to a clan ceremony on the Sac and Fox Reservation, but have never seen a Potawatomi one. I know there are still people out there that have bundles. Some people have clan bundles, and others have individual or family bundles.
What's in a bundle?
Hard to say, Nui. Some clans had items which were sacred or important to them, such as maybe fish hooks with the Fish Clan, or carvings of different spirits like the Wood Elf, or even certain medicines that their clan knew about. There are a number of bundles which have ended up in museums.
How did they get into museums? Shouldn't we try and get them back?
Sometimes anthropologists bought them. Sometimes they were stolen from their original owner and sold. Other times, people would inherit them and not know what to do with them, so they would just let them go. People sometimes get real worried about having a bundle if they don't know how to use it or what to do with it. Oftentimes, a person was supposed to have a regular feast for a bundle, so you had certain obligations. So for some people, it is just easier to let go.
Kind of like the language, huh, Michelle?
In some ways, yes. It's definitely easier to just speak English and not worry about our language or ways.
Michelle, tell me some more about our beliefs.
A lot of our clan ceremonies kind of started to fade in the 1800s. A lot of Potawatomi people followed Tecumseh, who was trying to form a coalition of tribes to fight, and his brother was a spiritual leader to this group. He was sometimes referred to as the prophet. His brother told the people to get rid of their bundles and bury them under a large tree with a copper kettle over the top of them.
So that's why we don't do clan ceremonies today?
Yeah, one reason. We also had a belief called Medewin, or sometimes it's called the Grand Medicine Society. This was something we practiced when we were part of the Ojibwa and Odawa people, perhaps 500 years or longer ago. It was a medicine society. In this group, the clans played an important role. You had certain roles and even places you sat during the ceremony, which depended on your clan.
It seems like today less and less people know what clan they are, Michelle. Do you think it has something to do with less folks practicing Medewin and clan ceremonies?
I definitely think that assimilation and loss of some of our traditional ways has had a toll on us as a people. That's one reason they're talking about it in the language course. It's important for folks to learn and understand our ways.
So do people still practice Medewin?
There are some up north and in Canada. There's a group around Wisconsin, which is a Three Fires Medewin group, made up of Potawatomi, Odawa, and Ojibwa people. But not too many. There's a lot that's been written about the Medewin, and a person can always read more about this belief.
So what's big drum? Is that like powwow drumming?
No, Nui. It's a practice still followed by folks in Kansas and Wisconsin. Not sure of its origin, but I've heard folks say it comes from the Lakota people. It was somehow given to the Potawatomi in the early part of the last century.
Any other beliefs, Misho?
Sure, tons, Nui. There are a lot of Native people who choose to go to Indian churches. A lot of times these are multi-denominational and multi-tribal. Sometimes they'll have hymns in different tribal languages.
It's good different groups have found a way to incorporate the language into their beliefs.
Yeah, there are other groups here in Oklahoma who do seasonal feasts and ceremonies, which sometimes incorporate Christianity in with it.
What's the Native American church?
It's a pretty large established belief, which involves praying, drumming, and drinking or eating peyote buttons to keep alert and focused. They'll often have all-night revivals. It's another way that Native people have found to preserve their Native heritage. There are also a number of Potawatomi today who are Catholic, Methodist, Lutheran, and any number of religions. There was a real push in the 1800s by Baptist, Catholic, and Methodist priests and ministers to do work on the various Potawatomi reservations in Kansas and up north.
Wow, you weren't kidding, Misho. There really are lots of beliefs. Like you said, it's not one shoe fits all. Miigwech for the teaching, Misho.
Anytime, Nui.